If you're looking for cheap, safe, and reliable MT, make sure you go check out my new sponsor, safembamt.com. Use code JC2K for 5% off and go build that God Squad you always wanted. Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. Today we are going to be doing episode 16 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build teams submitted to be by my followers on Twitter into the best teams possible for either competitive play and or MyTeam Unlimited. If you want to be involved in a future episode of this video, make sure you follow me on Twitter. My link is always down in the description of every single video, and be on the lookout for a tweet about the series on Friday nights for me to record and upload them Saturday morning. So make sure you're looking out for that tweet and respond to that tweet with your team if you want to be involved in a future episode of this series. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Take a look at some of the teams. So first team today comes in from Corrupt. He's on current gen at 770k. Bulbul's souped on Hoffs. He had Dikembe and Jameson, but sold them before the market crash. He's also not willing to make any changes. So with 770k, the first thing that I will note is that you have three really good point guards. Then we have Josh Smith. We have Jonathan Isaac, TJ Warren, Bill Russell. Okay. So Bulbul and Dino, as long as your Dino has Hall of Fame Showtime, you can keep them both and they can be your centers. I would make sure Dino has Hall of Fame Showtime. Besides that, as long as your Bulbul and Dino both have like Showtime, he has clamps and a couple like, I'm assuming he has a lot of all those important Hall of Fame badges. Then those are fine. So we'll leave those. Bill Russell's great, obviously. This is kind of a weak spot here. This 2 and this 3 and 4, these three players right here are kind of weak, I think. And then one of the backup 2, I think, could be upgraded as well. So the way that I would actually run this team is I would move Andre Kirilenko to the 1, Ben Simmons to the backup 1, and Luka starting at the 2. That's how I would probably do it, because I like having two really big elite defensive point guards running my one in my starters and one on my bench. I would also make sure you, just based on this will save you MT, I would grind for Blake as well. He's going to be a good card. He can play point guard. He's coming with every single half. He'll be available in the next couple weeks, so I would grind for him as well to put in your backcourt with potentially these three guys. But for the time being, I think you're fine off running Josh Smith as your backup 2, or you could even just go get a guy like Cliff Robinson, who's also cheap, and I think he's better than Josh Smith at the 2. So then you would have AK and Luka, for example, and then Ben and Cliff Robinson off the bench is kind of how I would run that. That would say basically won't cost you any MT, and you can make that change. I think that'll improve your lineup a little bit. Then at the 3 and the 4, I think your backup 4 is an easy upgrade. Go get Ben Wallace. It's a really obvious upgrade in my opinion. He can play the backup 4 over Worthy. He's not expensive. He's an elite card. So go get him. That's an easy upgrade. And then at the 3, we got Jonathan Isaac and TJ Warren. I would basically change that to make that Andre Kirilenko and Pascal Siakam, I think. Or not Andre Kirilenko, I'm sorry. Anton Jameson and Pascal Siakam. Sell Jonathan. Take Warren and Worthy out of lineup. Go get an Anton Jameson, Pascal Siakam, and Ben Wallace. And this team will be looking super, super elite. Next squad today comes in from Josh. He's got 1.2. He's not trying to spend it all. He has Zoe, but he's going to be replaced by LaMelo. I don't know who he doesn't want. Hawks 2018 Rim Run 3 Hunt. FCP on D. Full court press. Okay, cool. 1.2 mil on current. He doesn't want to spend it all. We can spend a little bit of it though. Sell Dikembe. Go buy Joel Embiid. Sell Lonzo. Get AK or LaMelo. If you don't like him, AK, that's fine, but I would get AK over LaMelo personally. But if you want LaMelo, sell Lonzo, get LaMelo. Sell Dikembe, buy Embiid. Anton and Lamar is fine here. I would start Anton, bring Lamar off the bench. I honestly like Pascal Siakam over Lamar as well, but if you like Lamar, not going to tell you not to run him. He's definitely a fine option. But yeah, backup point guard, either AK or LaMelo, and then sell Dikembe and replace him with Embiid or even a badged Bulbul, just because Dikembe does not green consistently, and he's going to lose price as well. He has a lot of value right now still, and it's going to lose it soon. Current gen 75k coming in from Jay-Z. He's got Hoff Showtime on his Dino. As long as your Bulbul has Hoff Showtime and clamps as well, make sure that card has Hoff Showtime and clamps. Other Hoffs aren't super important. If he has a bunch of extra other ones, that's great, but make sure he has Showtime and clamps. Ben Wallace is great, obviously. Bull, I'm going to assume, is fine. Wiseman and Raja is fine. Anton and Worthy is solid as well. Luka and West is great at the point guard position. 75k with this squad. I would probably, I know people like Tom Van Arsdale. If you're an elite 3 hunting type player, you know how to dribble really well, keep Tom. If you're not, go get yourself a guy like Cliff Robinson. He's much bigger, much better on the defensive end. Probably a more complete card. That's probably where I would go, is potentially start Cliff Robinson at the 2 and or maybe even sell Josh Smith, start Cliff Robinson here and have Tom off the bench, something like that. And then maybe, I mean, with 75k, I think you're probably not going to need to waste your time upgrading James Worthy at this point because he's still a solid card. I think you just keep him there. I think basically you ignore your front courts. Your front court's fine. Your point guards are fine. The question is here with the 2s. Do you want to upgrade to Cliff Robinson? stuff like that. And I would also make sure you're grinding for Blake as well, making sure you're getting done all those challenges so you can pick him up and add him to your squad as well. Next team today comes in from Selin. He's got current gen 450k, likes to 3 hunt, and he likes dudes. Selin's due for my stream. That kid is zesty, but appreciate you submitting your team, bro. 450k MT. I know you like to 3 hunt, so we'll leave Tom. Point guards are great. Power forwards and centers are great. Bailey Howell's kind of a liability at this point. I still like Jimmy. I know a lot of people don't love Jimmy, but I still like Jimmy. I would move Worthy to the bench. Go get Anton Jameson. You'll love him with his XM base. And then, I mean, we could upgrade Jimmy Butler. We could go get like a Paul George, for example, at the 2. You could. You don't have to, but you definitely could if you wanted to. Otherwise, I think you're fine with Tom and Jimmy. Or you could even go get like Anton and AK probably with 450k MT. Yeah, you could get both those cards. And then run Ben and AK as your point guards, Luca and Tom as your shooting guards, and Anton and James as your small forwards. Otherwise, you could just leave it basically the same and go get Anton, and then that's pretty much the only upgrade that you need to make. It's kind of up to you, but I think that Bailey Howell is definitely the weakest spot on this team, and Anton Jameson would be a huge upgrade for you. Next squad today comes in from Zano. I think I'm always pronouncing his name wrong, but that's okay. Anyways, current gen 250k MT. Okay. I like the starting lineup. I like the bench. I don't like Dwight, and I don't like Lonzo. I think Dwight's release isn't very good. I just don't think he's worth the MT, honestly, and I don't like Lonzo that much just because he's a little bit undersized at this point in the year. So, for me personally, with 250k MT, I would sell them both. And I think Dwight's, what, 300k, 350k, and then Lonzo's probably almost 100k, so you're looking at 450k MT-ish that you'll add to your, so you'll have close to 700k MT. I mean, you could sell them both, go get yourself a Ben Simmons, he's cheap, and then you could go get a Joel Embiid, for example, at the center position, who I think is better than Dwight. And then you have Ben starting with Cliff Robinson and LaMelo off the bench with Luka. And then your small forwards are fine, your power forwards are fine. You have Embiid and Chris Stapps at center. Or you could even go get Dino Radja with Hoff Showtime to play the center position. He's so much cheaper than Dwight, and I think he's just about as good. So I definitely just look to tactically downgrade Dwight to one of those other centers. And then, although you're not really downgrading, you're just saving MT. And then pick up a Ben Simmons or an AK at the point guard position instead of Lonzo. Next team today comes in from Manny. He's going to get Luka, rim run, and 3 hunt, 5 out. Any changes? Loves the vids. I appreciate that. This team definitely needs some work. Looking at what we got here, you said Steven Jackson has Hoff Showtime, so he can stay. Christian Wood's a good card as well. He could stay. McAdoo and Hayes, I guess, can stay-ish. Larry Keenan, too, could stay off the bench. Your point guards need help. These are really short point guards. Okay. I'm actually going to... This team needs everything changed. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to 2KDB, and we're going to build a lineup. Just so I can make it easier for you to see. Because the cards that I think you keep are Zion. Where's the Springtime Zion? There we go. And then we got like Larry Keenan here. And then we got Christian Wood here. And then one of McAdoo. We'll say McAdoo at the center position. And then who else you have? Hold on, that's wrong too. I got to make this team like, okay, Steven Jackson with Hoff Showtime. This can be your bench. The whole starting lineup needs to be overhauled, in all honesty, based on this team. Like, these 2 cards can't be played. Manu, questionable. I still wouldn't play him. Yeah. Okay. I'm actually going to put George Mike in here because I think he's better than McAdoo because of his ability to stretch the floor. But I think this is the bench you build. And then the starters, you do something like this. With the amount of MT, you should be able to build this squad. And then, I don't know, at the 3... Pascal, you might have enough. I think you should have enough MT for that. Ben Wallace, and then I don't know, Dino, and try to get one with Hoff Showtime or something. If you could build something similar to this squad, you're looking way, way, way better. That would be a massive upgrade over this team. You could even put Keenan here and leave, Tony Kukoc. If you don't have enough MT to get Siakam, you could even just do something like that. But I don't think Siakam's that expensive, so I really think you could just get Siakam. You could really probably build this whole starting line. Just do this bench with the cards you already have, and then build this starting lineup with these 5 guys, and I think your team is going to look so much better. We got size on this team now. Everybody on this team is like at least 6'6", 6'7". We got size, you got defense, we got stretch ability, shooting. This team is so much improved from what it was just looking like. Compare this team to this team, it's a night and day difference. I think you could make these upgrades, and it will make huge changes to your team. Next team today comes in from G Torres. He's got 1.8 mil MT, plays on next gen, grinding to get Blake to replace Zion. Okay, Blake to replace Zion, Luka, AK. Is Manute worth running on next gen? Because for me personally, I would probably, with 1.8 mil, I'd still probably go get Kawhi, to be honest, and start AK at the 1, Kawhi at the 2, and then like Blake and Luke off the bench is probably how I would do your front court. But if you love Manute, feel free to keep him. KD and Thon is fine. I would honestly probably sell Thon and get Anton at this point, just because Anton is the same price or cheaper and has X and base, better jumper. I think he's a better overall card as well than Thon. But if you like Thon, again, that's up to you. It's kind of nitpicking there. Mobile and Fairy is phenomenal. KP and Cat is good as well. Honestly, I would replace Cat as well. On next gen, you might as well sell Cat and go get James Wiseman, who's cheaper and better, I think, on next gen. But that's kind of, again, up to you. You could even move Bull to the 5, pick up a guy like Ben Wallace at the 4, for example. Bull to the back at 5, Ben Wallace starts at the 4. Things like that could be upgrades you could make. I mean, you could even, if you want to get really crazy, you could move KD to the bench and go get yourself a LeBron. He's got X and base on next gen. He's amazing. And then you could start LeBron, have KD off the bench, and sell Thon Maker. Like, there's a lot of things you can do with 1.8 million MT, but I definitely would be looking to replace Manute Bull unless you love the card. Replacing Zion, obviously, with Blake, and then selling Cat and replacing him with a guy like James Wiseman or Joel Embiid or Dikembe Mutombo, or moving Bull to the backup center and picking up a guy like Ben Wallace at the power forward position. And the final team today comes in from Pistons fan. He's got 178K to spend on next gen, and Murasan is badged out. Now on next gen, I'm going to assume that Murasan is worth running because he's fun on current gen. He's kind of cheesy, but on next gen, I assume he has super speed. Probably isn't as much of a defensive liability. So I'm going to leave your power forwards and centers the way that they are. Your small forwards are solid as well. Point guards, again, solid. Kobe and Jimmy, again, solid. But I think there are some things you could change to make this team go from solid to much better, like elite, borderline elite. And the first thing I would do is sell Lonzo and pick up Wes Unseld. Wes Unseld gives you a lot more in terms of size and defense than Lonzo, in my opinion, with a very, very similar offense and a better jumper. So I'd probably pick up Wes Unseld for Lonzo, and then your point guard position is looking really good with LaMelo and Wes. I would also grind for Luka to play the 2 to replace Kobe at some point. I think that would definitely be a good upgrade as well. And then I would sell Jeremy Grant and look to pick up with 178K. I mean, you've already made profit from making that change from Lonzo to Wes Unseld. You're looking at 250K. We'll say 250K. You sell Jeremy Grant. I don't know how much he is, but I'm going to estimate another 75K. So look at 325K. Go get yourself an Anton Jamison on next gen with X and base. He's amazing. And then go get yourself a Thad Young off the bench to replace TJ Warren, Pink Diamond Thad Young. So you pick those 2 guys up to play that small forward position. You have Wes Unseld at the point guard. These can be your shooting guards for now, but then I would replace Kobe with Luke at some point. And then Ben and Bill, Dino and Murasan. You got a really, really nice squad at that point. So that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and let me know what you think of these squads. And also, if I didn't get to your squad this week, make sure you follow me on Twitter. And leave a comment on that post next week, and I'll try to get to as many people as possible, as always. Also, if you did enjoy, hit that subscribe button, help us push towards the 2,000 subscriber mark on the channel. Really appreciate all the recent support, and I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.